think that most historians now recognise there were sort of two key moments. One was, in fact, December 1941, with the blockage of the Wehrmacht in front of Moscow, but far more importantly, America's entry into the war. That, I think, one would describe as the geopolitical turning point. Now, it was not necessarily clear at that time, because one has to remember the early part of 1942 was one disaster after another, whether in North Africa, also on the Eastern Front, when it looked once again with Operation Blue as if the Wehrmacht was again going to be triumphant, and of course the disasters in the Far East. But the real turning point, I mean, there's no doubt about it, the military and the psychological turning point came both in Europe, on the Eastern Front, and in the Far East. Really came at the same time, and that is basically end of October, beginning of November, well, in fact, November, let's say, 1942, when the combination of Alamein, Stalingrad, Operation Torch, and Guadalcanal with the first major defeat of the Japanese. And I think that was the moment, the psychological and the military turning point of the war. The Germans, as well as the Japanese, have reached what in military terms is described as the cumulative point, when in fact they had lost the initiative and they could really advance no further.
Ja bym wybrał datę trochę późniejszą. Jeśli dobrze rozumiem, to on powiedział koniec 1942 roku. Ja bym powiedział najmniej pół roku później. Na wschodnim froncie bitwa pod Kurskiem to był moment, kiedy możliwości ofensywne Niemców były złamane. Wiadomo potem, że oni nie będą w stanie jakby dalej atakować. Natomiast na zachodzie był, Antony o tym nie mówił, ale bitwa w Atlantyku z tym ubotami. Nie, Atlantyk. Wojna morska w Atlantyku. Bez zwycięstwa w Atlantyku Amerykanie nie mogli ryzykować wysłania całej wojska statkami do Europy. To było niemożliwe, dlatego dopiero w 1943 roku wysłali pierwszą ekspedycję do Afryki Północnej, do Maroka. Czyli do drugiej połowy 1943 roku nie wiadomo było, czy te jakby dobre znaki są permanentne, czy będą dalsze problemy, ale po 1943 roku widać było, że przewaga jest po naszej stronie.
I wouldn't actually entirely agree there, because even with the Battle of the Atlantic, the whole point was that in, I think it was either November or beginning of December, they had finally broken shark, and so Bletchley, with the Enigma decoding, was back into the U-boat, and the U-boat threat was diminished enormously even by then, because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to land all of those troops on Operation Torch. So I think Kursk is a bit late, but anyway, it's an argument I think one can go on enjoying for quite a long time.